Hey guys, Bonzichun here, and today we're going to talk about my top 10 cards of Sun and Moon base set. Now these are by no means concrete, and you may have your own opinions, but this is my top 10. If you want to discuss it, that's what the comment section is for. Go ahead and use it, and we'll get you right into this. First off, we have some honorable mentions. My first honorable mention will be Poison Barb. Now I really like this card. It kind of reminds me of Bursting Balloon in a way, because if your opponent attacks your Pokemon, they have to choose, do they want to take the damage counter between turns? And it's a really nice deterrent for your opponent to not attack you. That way you can keep your Pokemon up and going. And if they do hit you, they're going to be taking that poison tick, and they're going to have to retreat it out, or use some kind of special condition healing card like Big Malasada or Pokemon Center Lead to remove that special condition. Overall, I think Poison Barb might be good one day, but for now, it's not making the top 10. It's just an honorable mention. Now, the next card that I'm going to give an honorable mention to, I'm going to get a lot of flack for in the comment section. I know it, but I don't like this card, and I think that it's highly overrated by the community. And that card we're going to talk about is Decadua GX. Now, here's why I don't like this card. Yeah, it's a stage 2. Yes, we have things like Forest of Giant Plants and Shiinotic to make searching out grass cards easier. But why would I want to play Decadua GX over something like Greninja? Sure, our Greninja's technically a stage 3, but at least Greninja does 80 damage, while this one will do 80 damage across four Decadua GXs. Overall, I don't think it's that great. Plus, its first tag, Razor Leaf, a grass in 3 colors for 90 damage. It's 2 colors, sorry, for 90 damage. I just don't see why people like this card so much. Plus, its GX tech, you can add 3 cards from your discard pile into your hand. We have things like Puzzles of Time for that. We have things like Super Rod to shovel it back into our deck. When there's as much draw power as we have in this format, I just don't see why people would want to play Decadua GX. As well as the fact that Volcanion is still a thing. It's going to be hitting this card for weakness, and I'm pretty sure Volcanion will have enough energy to steam up enough to knock this thing out. I just don't see it. I just don't see why everyone thinks this card's the best thing ever. I can't see it. We'll have to wait and see when people start playing more refined lists. And maybe this card is good. Maybe I'm just wrong and completely insane in the membrane, boys and girls. Alright, without further ado, let's get right into the top 10. My first top 10 card is Simian. I love this card. I think it's a great card that Pokemon printed because it allows players to make a budget deck with uncommon cards. Stats alone, guys, it's a great card. 110 HP, with single and a double energy attack with a retreat cost of 1. It's searchable by things by Nest Ball. It benefits from things like Fighting Fury Belt and Strong Energy. It has a fairly decent attack of Fling, which does 30 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon and take out those snipes on the bench Pokemon. Also, Team Play itself is a great attack for double Carlos, does 30 damage times the number of bench Simian you have plus the 10 base. Overall, I think Simian's a great card, and I will be definitely making a deck soon with this. I just have to wait on some cards I'm looking to trade for or get in the mail. The next card I'm going to talk about is Nest Ball, number 9. I love this card. It allows for more searching of Pokemon without adding to your hand. By putting them straight onto the bench, it bypasses things like Shaman and Hoopa. If this thing added to your hand, it would just be broken, but since it goes straight onto your bench, it doesn't activate things like Shaman and Hoopa's effects, but it still allows you to get your basics onto your bench to start evolving them. I think this is a great card for Simian decks, as well as EV decks that run the EV Evolution, the Energy Evolution EV that we just got. I think Nest Ball is going to be a great card. It's going to be definitely welcome in the format. Next thing, this is a strange one. Pukumuku. I like this card a lot. It's basically a bursting balloon with a body. I've seen people play this card with any card that allows them to switch out. So like people were playing Umbreon GX with that one energy attack lets them switch out. They switch right back into Pukumuku. Attach a float stone to Pukumuku, retreat into the Umbreon, and keep swinging and hitting like 1-2, 1-2, 1-2. And if you knock out the Pukumuku, they're gonna take 6 damage counters in return. So it's kind of like Bursting Balloon with a body. And if you really want to be dirty, put a Bursting Balloon on this. They're taking 120 damage. No one's gonna hit into that, but I think it's just hilarious, and I love this card. Like I said, guys, my top 10. Not what is the best cards, but what does Bonzichun like. And this card I like. Next card we're going to talk about is Team Skull Grunt. Now, you guys might be looking at this going, why? Here's why I like this card. Energy Disruption has proven time and time again to be an effective strategy. This is at its core. Since it says discard 2 energy cards from your opponent's hand, it could be double cards, it could be strong energy, it could be splash energy. It doesn't have to be basic. Just disrupting your opponent and making them have the discard energies that they have in their hand screws up their game plan for that following turn. They might have to use that Sycamore that they didn't want to use because they have other cards in their hand just so they can draw into energy just so they start swinging it at you. That is why Team Skull Grunt earns a spot on my list. Next thing we're going to talk about is Professor Kukui. Now this card is basically just a better Giovanni scheme. I honestly think this card makes Giovanni's scheme look like complete and total trash. But you can argue that Giovanni's schemes are arguably better because you can draw up to 5 cards. Professor Kukui I think is better because he doesn't make you choose. You only get to draw 2 cards and your Pokemon still do 20 more damage, but you don't have to choose. You just draw 2 cards and do 20 extra damage for that turn. With the slower format that I think we're moving towards with all the new cards that we've gotten, a lot of evolution lines, not a lot of stage basic GXs, sorry guys. Overall, I think Kukui is going to be a card that you're definitely going to want to be looking at when you're making a deck, and that's why it's on the list. Next thing, LoneAzn. I really like this card because it's basically Garbodor, but with a heavier retreat cost, and yeah. But nice thing about Garbodor, this versus Garbodor is this doesn't have a tool card attached to it. Once it's on your bench, no basics in your hand, discard pile, have no abilities, and you could argue that Garbodor is better, but you have to remember Garbodor is going to be rotating from the standard format pretty soon, at least it should be, with Breakthrough possibly being rotated out. Pokemon's not announced what card sets are rotating out yet, but speculating that we're either going to have Breakthrough or Breakthrough and Breakpoint rotate out, or none at all, or one of it's gone so many different ways I can't even keep track anymore. But I think LoneAzn definitely deserves a spot on this list because of its ability to shut down basics. So it's going to shut down things like Shaman, shut down things like Hoopa, just like Garbodor did, and just like Silent Lab does. This is basically like a Silent Lab on a body. 120 HP for stage 1's not that bad. Second was it weakness, retreat cost of 4 is pretty hefty, so you're definitely going to want to keep a flow stone on your bench. And its attack is pretty trash. It's horrible, guys. They did it so dirty. At least they gave it a good ability. Dirty mug. Get it, guys? That was bad. I'm sorry. Next card on the list, guys. Espeon GX. I really like this card a lot because the Eevee that we got in the set has that ability when you attach energy that evolves into... Basically, you attach energy, it evolves into that evolution of that type. So when you attach that psychic energy, you're instantly getting an Espeon on your first turn. And now, so far, Espeon and Umbreon both have single energy attacks. I like single energy attacks because you're up and rolling right away. And for a single psychic energy, 30 damage, and confuses your opponent's active Pokemon, that's a really great attack to have on your first turn. Now, for its second attack, Psychic, for a psychic energy and double colorless, the 60 damage plus 30 more damage times the amount of energy attached to both your opponent's active Pokemon, and you're swinging for big numbers if they aren't careful with their energy management. And then Divide GX, I think it's a fun move. You could take some cheeky knockouts by putting 20 damage counters on bench Pokemon. You could do 100 damage in total, but you can move them around and get the totals that you like. Overall, I think Espeon GX is a card to watch out for, and I definitely think it could be a strong deck. Next card on the list, though, we got Incineroar GX. I like this card because, although it is a Stage 2 GX, it has a high HP, man. 250 HP, that's Wailord level. It also has a single energy attack, which I just said I'm a huge fan of. And it does 20 more damage times the amount of bench fire Pokemon you have. Not basic fire Pokemon, just fire Pokemon. So if you got a bunch of your Incineroar line on your bench, it's going to help it swing for more. So you could possibly go... what's that card? Litten, Rare Candy, Incineroar, attach energy, have a bunch of bench Pokemon, and be swinging for a good amount of damage on your first turn. Tiger Swing, not a big fan of that attack. 2 fire and a colorless, flip 2 coins. This attack does 50 more damage for each heads. At least it does 80 base, so that's not bad. So if you get 1 heads, you're on average doing 130, which is pretty good. And its GX attack, it's pretty much taking 1 hit on anything. With the new ruling on burn, with it taking 2 damage counters in between turns, you're hitting 220 at least, so it's pretty much going to not get anything besides another Incineroar. But with things like Professor Kukui, you'll be definitely hitting those numbers a lot easier now. And that's why I think Incineroars are a great card. So we'll be moving. I definitely will be making an Incineroar deck too as soon as I am able to get my hands on enough Incineroars. Next thing we got is Rancis GX. This card I think is better than Decadua. Single energy attack, big fan of. Lets you attach basic energies from your discard pile to your Pokemon any way you like. So, you know, you could discard a bunch of grass energies when you're setting up, evolve into this, hit for Flower Supply for 40 damage, which is really good, and attach 2 energies to it, Rancis itself, and be swinging for 120 your next turn with Solar Blade. And also, Solar Blade does heal you, so that's kind of a nice thing. It messes with your opponent's math, makes the game go a long way. Also, it's I don't even know how to say Chloroscythe GX. This type has 50 damage times the number of grass energy attached to this Pokemon. Pretty good if you have 3 energy on there already. It's 150. Attach another one, it's 4. 200. Overall, Rancis I think is going to be a great card with support from cards like Forest of Giant Plants and Shiinotic. I definitely think Rancis is going to be a deck that's going to be played a lot, because there's a lot of support for it already out in the standard rotation. And expanded, oh boy, yes, it will be played. More on that later. And finally, my number 1 card is Umbreon GX. I absolutely love this card. I am making this deck in real life for sure. I know I've said making a lot of decks, but I'm going to be making a lot of decks because there's a lot of decks that are coming out of this set that I think are very promising. Umbreon GX, again, with that Eevee that we got in Sun and Moon base that lets you evolve as soon as you attach an energy to it, you get involved in Umbreon GX. Look, single energy attack. We'll be swinging for 30 damage in between on our first turn, and then we can switch Umbreon with a different Pokemon on our bench to keep things going back and forth. Shadow Bullet, 90 damage for 3 energies, not that good, but when you hit 30 on the bench, makes it a lot better. It lets you take cheeky knockouts on your opponent's bench Pokemon. And also Dark Call GX, in testing I've done, is an amazing GX move. So if it's energy cards, not basic energy, you can discard double colorless and completely screw with your opponent's plans. So that's why I think Umbreon GX deserves the number 1 spot on my list. Do you guys agree with me? Do you not? Well, go to the comment section and let me know. And thanks for watching. Peace out, homies.